Hey students, we're going to go over an introduction to InDesign, my personal favorite program. So if anybody has any questions on this program, feel free to ask me. I love this program. It's what I use 90% of the time to do most of my creative work. So what can you do with it? You can do print ads, brochures, signs, banners, interactive PDFs, and interactive presentations. There's not really too much you can't do. Of course, you'd always want to keep your logos in Illustrator and all of your photo work for the most part in Photoshop. However, I am going to show you some tips and tricks that are going to really help accelerate your speed and confidence in InDesign. Here are two different types of projects that I've created last year in InDesign. The one on the left, it says Happiness Comes in Waves. That's a 300 by 250 banner ad for the web. And on the right is the cover of the official visitor guide for Myrtle Beach. So you can do print projects and web projects with this very easily. So before we get into the exact specifics of InDesign, I wanted to make sure that I went over some resources. If you Google or go on YouTube and type in Terry White, you're going to find a huge resource of all of the Adobe products, but he is really good with all of his tutorials on InDesign. I find him very easy to understand and interesting, and most of his examples are very easy to follow. So any of the stuff that this guy does for any of the Adobe software is one to follow and take note of. The other thing is I do subscribe to this InDesign Secret Facebook page, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen a random post, and be like, hey, did you know you could hit W and you go back and forth between preview mode and normal mode? And just little tips and tricks you're going to find from them all the time, all year long. Plus, you can, if you get in trouble with something, like you get stuck, you can always put a question up on this Facebook page, and somebody's going to answer you. It's an amazing resource. So these are my top 2 resources for beginners when you're just starting out. Okay, let's go over how we're going to create the process book. First, you're going to open up InDesign. Once InDesign is open, go up to the top and go to File, New, and hit Document. When this window pops up, select 8.5 by 11 right here in your and change to inches in case it's on pixels. Sometimes it will be. Under pages, do 4 for now. You can always add more pages later, but I think 4 is a great place to start. And then under margins, the default is usually a 1/2 inch, and I think that's a little bit too big for your margins, so I like to set the margins at 0.125. And then go ahead and select Create. I have one already started, so I'm going to open up that one right now. So your first page should include a title page with your name, the title of the project, and the date due. Your next page should include your research. Why were you doing the process book? What were you doing it on? What's the point of it? What did you get out of the research? And how did any of the research drive you into where you're going to sketch? That's the main point of this, is really about the process, trying to teach you how to think out the project. You're not only going to have to design stuff as a graphic designer, but you're also going to have to write things out and be able to articulate why you came up with a design solution that you did. And research is usually a great place to start when you're presenting. The next page has your sketches. So for the first project, we're doing the process book on a flow chart. You need to have 15 sketches. Once you have those sketches completed, you can take a picture with your phone and save them to your computer. Put them in one folder, I recommend, and then you hit Command D on the Apple or Control D on the PC, and you can place all of the images in. The easiest way to place them when you do select an image is draw a box and then hit Command D. That way your box is always going to be exactly what you want it to be, the size you want it to be, and then you're going to choose your image and put it in there. And then you can size it to how you want to by hitting Command, Option, Shift, and E. That's going to proportionally put it in the document as you want it to. Then you can also trim up the anchors and hit Shift Command on the corners to proportionally size your sketch as needed. Then once you get a size that you like and you want to keep them that size, you can hit the Option key, select the image and drag, and then keep placing in more images. The next page is your final solution page. And here's where you want to display all of the solutions that you came up with that you think are the best. And then write out a paragraph of how you came up with these solutions and what one you think would be the best solution going forward for a design flowchart. And that's pretty much it for the putting it together. Now to export, when you're finally done, go up to File and hit Adobe PDF Presets. I like to choose the built-in one, High Quality Print. Select that. Choose where you want to save it, name it what you want to save it, and hit Save. I've already got one out there, so I'm going to replace it. And then you really don't have to mess with any of these things at this point. On other projects, I'm going to want you to add a bleed and other things. But for now, for the process book, this is all I need for you to do. Hit Export, and then it's done. You just have to go to D2L and go to the project and upload the PDF, and you're done. Pretty easy, right? Let me know if you have any questions. Please email me at colleen.belzati@hgtc.edu. So here's the toolbar, and this is going to automatically launch when you're in InDesign. I just wanted to put this here so that you can see all the tools. Feel free to go through and review them. The couple quick tips on this: the black arrow is for selecting and moving things and proportionally shifting things. The white arrow, if you double click with the white arrow on a photo, that way you can change the cropping of it. You can also change your path and pen tool points if you want to with that. So those are two quick tips for that. The other tools I will let you look at and play with on your own. The best way to really learn InDesign is to just play around in it. Just try different things. Don't be afraid of it. And if you have any questions about something you want to do particularly, give me a call or email me. Thanks. So here are my top 5 tips and tricks for InDesign. So here's tip number 1. If you've never worked with glyphs and type before, this is a fantastic opportunity to elevate your typography skills. So to find it, go up to Type and go to Glyphs. A little preview of all the glyphs involved in that particular font is going to be shown to you at this point. So you can see how the M and the E's are together, the M and the A's. There's going to be different types of combinations and swashes and things for different fonts. All fonts do different things. This font here is called Devious. It's a fun little font. It's free. You can download it from anywhere to experiment if you would like to try. Look at this logo design that I have just as an example. It's plain text in that font, Devious. I'm going to take it, and if you click one more time on this guided PowerPoint, if not, it's going to just play automatically. You're going to see how you can take that same exact font and add glyphs to it, and it adds just a little bit of an elevated look to it. So make sure you're checking out glyphs in your type. The color theme tool. This is one of my favorite tools and something that I use all the time. Say you have a favorite photo. You simply place it in InDesign, Command D or Control D, and then take your eyedropper tool that has the little squares next to it. That is called the color theme tool. And what this does is when you select an area of the image that you like, it's going to come up with perfectly color combinations that it has pulled from your photo. So look at this example here, and it's got several different types: colorful, bright, dark, deep, and muted. But these are all perfectly going to go with the photo that you chose. It makes coming up with color palettes so easy. When you find something, a photo, or even it's an illustration, and you like the colors in it, it makes it so simple to color coordinate any accent colors that you would like to use with it, or additional similar colors. It's such a useful tool. The color theme tool is definitely a tool that make your designs go from good to wow. So this tip is a little bit harder to show in a slide, but I'm going to do my best. There are Photoshop-like effects already built into InDesign, creating the speed that you need to be as fast as you need to be on different projects. So here's an image that I had needed to use, put more copy on the top part of it. Instead of having to save it, take it out of InDesign, open it up in Photoshop, and build new sky, I simply used the gradient feather tool on the image with the white arrow, and then chose the whole box to be bigger, as you can see here, and chose the closest color to the top blue, and then feathered that edge in. So it looks like it's one big image, even though I've built in that it's just color. It's one of those things that I use all the time when I'm when I have to resize from thing to thing, especially on web banner ads, when you get something that's 728 by 90 and then another thing that's 300 by 250 in pixels. Those are some different sizing. You're going to need some extra image sometimes to work with. So this is one of my tips that works all the time. The other thing you have, and I think you can see it here on this slide to show you, is under effects. You can do all the same types of effects: drop shadow, inner shadow, outer glow, bevel, emboss, satin, basic feather, directional feather, and then gradient feather, of course, just like you could do in Photoshop, but straight within InDesign. Having the flexibility of being able to use these effects straight within InDesign can really make you go faster once you master how to use them. Take a look at this example. This is another example where I built in more sky straight within InDesign. So another thing that is really, really cool about InDesign is exporting with ease. When you are exporting, especially for print from InDesign, you are guaranteed 100% to have your stuff be acceptable for any printer. InDesign does all the heavy lifting when it comes to making sure your crop mark's in the right place and bleeds are accounted for. As long as you have input everything in the beginning with the correct dimensions and the correct bleed marks, all you have to do when you hit export is simply check the crop mark box. I like to offset my crops by 0.125 and hit export, and all of your stuff is done perfectly. You can feel confident sending that PDF out for print. So this is one of the key features that I really, really use all the time and appreciate that InDesign does so well. You can even export logos or type or anything else that you might need for other mediums as well. So for instance, this is a logo. It's built in Illustrator, but I have it reversed out here in this example. You just simply select it, hit export as PNG, and then you select the selection so it only exports out what you want. You select the transparent background, what kind of resolution you want it, and hit export. Super easy and fast, and then I can upload it to whatever web format I need it to be in. See, in this example, I uploaded this logo that I took straight from InDesign and put it right up on my website. Very easy. And lastly, one of the things I really love about InDesign is how good it works and plays nice with Illustrator. So this logo is built in Illustrator, but I am able to copy and paste the exact logo into whatever InDesign document I'm working on, and it keeps the paths. So I'm able to change that logo to whatever color I want and whatever execution I'm working on, therefore making it really fast to come up with different concepts fast. having the ability to make those small changes straight within your layout program is critical for speed and time. Now, not every single Illustrator creation can be copied and pasted with live paths. It has to be somewhat of a simple in nature. It can't have too much gradients, can't have any drop shadows or anything like that. But your simple type of shapes that you create in Illustrator, you can copy and paste into InDesign and change the color as needed. That's all for this InDesign intro, but there's a lot more to learn. Make sure that you're going on the adobe.com website, looking at their tutorials. Check out Terry White's tutorials. Look at that InDesign page that I had said on Facebook. There's plenty of resources out there for you to grow your skills. If there's something that you want to do in particular and are having a tough time, please schedule some time with me on that Tuesday or Thursday where I'm doing my office hours. I'd be happy to sit down and help you through any of the issues or suggestions that I may have for InDesign. Again, I love this program. I'm passionate about it. I've been using it for 20 years, and it's probably not only my favorite, but the one that I'm probably the most expert level in. So let me know if I can help you with anything in this program.